What is going on, everybody? Jim Pizeo here, back with another video. How is everybody doing? How is your toy hunts doing? In this video, I actually want to have a discussion. This is a video that a couple people requested for a while, but it is a budgeting discussion, really. Basically, I want to just kind of put some key points on how I budget, what is the best way to budget, and break it into a conversation about what's the best thing to do in order to kind of like honor your budget or be disciplined enough for a budget. So the first thing I want to get into is how to budget your collection. You want to break down your bills, and you also want to break down your expenses, how much you're making per month if you're doing a monthly budget, and then how much you are paying per bill. I also think that it's best to factor in the fact that you want to see how much money you're spending on food in every week, how much you want to kind of cushion for like the weekends if you guys do go out and stuff like that, in addition to gas and whatnot. So that is one of the biggest things. You want to see your monthly income. What is those called again? Those graphs that you guys used to do back in the day in elementary school, where you do the two circles. So basically you're just kind of adding up all your expenses. One side you're going to add up how much money you make and stuff like that, and then from obviously in the middle is your cushion. That's a very bad comparison. It's the best thing to do when it comes to budgeting as a start of your base is to figure out your income per month, you figure out your expenses per month, and you figure out the cushion and gas and whatnot that you need to have in order, and how much you have after that. So that cushion is a very important thing. That cushion is a big deal, and it's something that I expect everyone to kind of understand. For example, if you make $1,000 a month and you have the bill is about $500 a month, and your expenses, meaning your gas, food for the month, is another $400, right? But you also want to add in a cushion, and the cushion is most likely savings, like extra that you put on the side for savings. It's a night out with your friends, or the movie nights, or like accidental emergency, so another $100 to $200. So let's say $200. Yeah, so basically your cushion, your gas and food, and then your expenses is all gonna bring it up to about $800. So you have about $200 left. That can be considered your budget for the month if you do so. So that's technically how I've been doing it. I kind of like see the statistics of how my income is per month, and it's usually a little bit different here and there, but it's basically pretty consistent. And then I figure out my bills and see if I'm actually capable of doing so. Now, the fact that this is just an example, I don't want it for anyone to say like, dude, like my rent is $1,800 a month and this and that, and it's a lot more difficult. I'm just giving an example. That cushion money can also be considered part of your budget as well. But what I'm trying to say is you want a fat cushion in order to help yourself throughout the month, so you're not kind of slipping and falling over yourself. Yeah, that is definitely one of the biggest things that you want to start on when it comes to popping a budget in. And the next thing I want to talk about is actually you want to categorize your collection from what you love the most to what you don't love the most, because I know most of you guys collect stuff that you love, from a 1 to 10. And this is the best way to put it. If you want to write it on paper, you want to write it on your notes in your phone or whatnot, just that is one of the best things that I can give as an advice. That's why I fluctuate so much, and a lot of you guys kind of get mad, but honestly, this is just how the game goes when it comes to collecting. You cannot be a consistent collector collecting the same thing repetitively and think that you'll be okay, because eventually you'll find nitpicks of what stuff that comes out from that collection that you don't like. Eventually you feel like it's a chore because you have to feel like you're completing all of the waves and whatnot. So that's just my opinion on it. You don't have to take any of my words. I'm just giving you guys my opinions because I did get a request to make this video. Categorize your stuff from 1 to 10. Let me give an example. You guys put 1 to 10, number 1 being the weakest, number 10 being the strongest. Like number 1 is a pop, right? You love pops, but it's not your go-to when it comes to collecting. And number 10 being your Mezcos, okay? But 1 month you have $200 worth of budget, and you realize that a Mezco is coming out. Let me give an example. John Wick is coming out. It's $130 about after taxes. You think about that, you only have $70 left, okay? Is it worth buying that John Wick figure and knowing that the rest of the month you have $70 left? Then there's like, let's say a wave of pops coming out. There's like 10 pops coming out. I'm gonna just say Stranger Things pops. 10 pops coming out. You know you want all of them. It's gonna be about $120. You categorize the Funko Pops being the weakest and Mezcos being the strongest. Which one would you rather get? Obviously, you're gonna get the John Wick because the Mezcos are considered your highest, the strongest category that you love to collect. So that's the best way to do it. Dude, you're gonna have regrets eventually, because let's say some pops or some things that come out and it becomes elusive after a while and it becomes higher price. That's just the way that the game goes, you know. Like, it depends on if you can push your budget or not. That's the most consistent way that I can see it. I just recommend it that way. It's gonna better your consistency of collecting. You're gonna maintain happiness, in my opinion, instead of like actually not having a budget or having a reckless type of budget where you're just saying, I'm just gonna sacrifice not having a cushion for myself and just going crazy. And at that point, you're gonna be kind of like unhappy collecting, if that makes sense. In addition to categorizing, I do want to get some tips with some things I wrote down. I actually wrote all this down, so that's why I keep looking to your left. I don't know. Well, a couple things I said is this is going to help you decide whether or not spending the budget, what is more valuable in spending the budget on, which I just pointed up. But try not to be a completionist. I know it's a lot harder for a lot of you guys because a lot of you guys are OCD and you want to complete certain waves. If you are pushing for a budget and if you're trying to be consistent, especially when you're pushing for a budget and you're having no space, hence my room, it's very difficult to kind of complete everything, because that's one thing that I always wanted to do: complete every single Marvel Legend wave, complete every single pop category wave that I've liked. Even SH Figure Arts, I just jumped or dipped into the water of Marvel. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's very tempting to get to the rest of the SH Figure Arts, but I don't want to get into the rest of the SH Figure Arts. I'm only buying the ones that I truly believe worth me buying. So obviously I got the Hulk and I have the Thanos from the end game coming whenever it comes, whenever the pre-order is ready. And the same thing with Mezco. I am not trying to complete all the Mezcos. I'm buying the ones that I want. I actually skipped out on John Wick for the ones that are asking me. As much as John Wick is pretty sick, I think that he is not going to fall into my collection, hence why I'm considering selling a lot of things. I just want to focus on certain things that I truly love. All right, so another thing that I do want to point out: $20 figures, Marvel Legends, hunts. Getting the high of finding something while you're hunting in the wild, it's one of the best feelings. It's as good as pulling the best card for the ones that do like cards. Finding that figure in the wild is probably the best feeling. This is the one thing that you have to decide on. If you guys are very minimal with your budget, if you have like $100 budget, you have a $50 budget, $20 figures, somebody sells it for 26 ship. That's not even a scalping price in my opinion. I don't consider that scalp. I consider that retail plus shipping. Let's say $26, even $30. Even the companies, even though the major companies that sell it for that much and you buy it, people are calling you, oh, you're not a real collector, whatever. You're not a real collector if you can't find it in the wild, right? No, this is the thing. You're saving time, you're saving gas, you're saving money. $20 figure you buy at a store at $21.39. Over here, that's how much it costs tax. Okay, you got to think about it. It's a psychological discipline that you're thinking that you have to put into play. Traveling time, gas. Let's say each week you spend about, I'm just taking bare minimums, this is just an example. You have a good gas saving card. You spend about $20 a week, right? It takes you 2 weeks to find the figure that you want. So that's $40 of gas per week. Now, in addition to that, you're also driving around, you're hungry, you want to get some food. Let's say you spend about approximately $20 extra on food per week. That's $80 that you spent traveling to hunt. Now, I'm gonna actually take out $20 of that because $20 is on the gas, obviously, because you drive to work and all that. So you're spending $60, compilation of gas and food, to hunt for this one figure, hunt for these wave of figures. Then you finally found the figure. It's $20, $21.39. I'm gonna say $21. So you basically spent $21 on an action figure. You're happy, you get that high, it feels good. But you actually paid $81 if you think about it, because of all the time travel to find the damn figure. So at that point, you gotta think about it. You're not necessarily taking away $20 from a $200 budget that you originally had. You're actually taking away $80 that you should. That's how you should think. So that's $120 left on the budget. You literally spent all that time finding a figure and spent $80 to find that figure. Would you just do that, or would you just buy the $30 ship? It might not be mint for your inbox collectors. I'm just giving a very broad statement. Depends on you. You gotta look at it that way, okay? You gotta look at it to the point where, is it worth spending money going to all these stores, all this time, all this exhaustion, this stress for one figure for 20 bucks, or just buy it online for 30 shipped? So that is another thing to put into play when it comes to budgeting. Let's say you like to go hunting, it doesn't matter, okay? And you go ahead and see some of the figures that you like. As a completionist, you look and you're like, I gotta finish all this wave. Do you have to buy all the figures now? It's best to just buy the ones that is most sought after, because I'm not saying for it to be a way for you guys to scalp the figure. No, I'm saying that it's best for you to buy the figures that you really want the most, and then later on look for the ones that are gonna be peg warming. It's the best way to do it, because you can spread out buying that wave within what, 2-3 months, than to buy all of it in 1 month below your budget. And one of the last things that I want to talk about is selling unnecessary parts of your collection for the funds to help your budget. Now, this is two ways to look at it, okay? I like doing it this way. You don't necessarily have to add it on to your budget. So let's say you have $200 that budget and you sell $100 worth of figures. You don't have to add it on and make it $300. You can if you want to. That's up to you. Or you can save that for a rainy day for something phenomenal like a grail piece or whatnot. And if you want to, you can also do it in a way where when you save money, I feel like that will be one way that you can do it. Or you can just add it on and say you have $300 in your budget. Call it a day. $300 that month feels good. You know what I mean? Another thing that I do want to point out for grails, okay? So I noticed that there's some people out there that say, you know, every month, because I have to budget, because I have kids and whatnot, I get one grail a month. So I get one grail Marvel Legend, I get one grail Pop, I get one grail Hot Toy, whatever it is, whatever the factor is. People like to do that. And it's definitely an amazing thing because you're getting something that you actually truly wanted. Bringing that in ties to selling some unnecessary things in your collection. If you, let's say, sell $100 worth, you can add that to basically like a little section of your budget where it's like, oh, this is just kind of like part of my cushion, basically, if you want to call it that. But this is just part of my budget where I'm not going to be using it unless it's part of a grail, or it's going to be something that's going to help me with an expensive figure or whatnot later on in the future. That's something that to be aware of as well. Another way I think is to help budget. This is more for the high-end figures and stuff like that. Try to find a website or a company that is cool with pre-orders where you kind of either put a down payment at the moment or don't put a down payment at all. Let's say for me, I pre-ordered the Thanos SH figures, but it specifically says that it comes out next month. So I know next month my budget is going to be minimal, minusing that. So I know that, let's say for my budget next month, it's going to be $300. That Thanos is $100. I only have $200 left to use. So it's always good to write everything down. I know a lot of you guys also put everything down on your Excels just to make sure that you are not over budgeting or you're pacing yourself in the right manner. So you're not excessively buying everything in the world. Going back to that cushion, the cushion is very good because, for one thing, it's good for emergencies whenever you guys need it. And another thing is, if you guys are really into a certain, like you just got into something like cards like me, you're able to use some of that cushion, the grail money as well, in order to buy an excessive amount if you guys want to kind of splurge for that one moment. I'm not condoning splurging, but splurging is something that is inevitable if you're a collector and you really just love what you got into. But yeah, guys, just to recap, just make sure to break down how much money you're making per month, your monthly income, break down your expenses, make sure that your expenses are always paid for. Everything after that, put it for gas, food, and cushion, which is very important. Very important. Do not forget that. And then everything else as a budget. Make sure to focus on categorizing your budgets from like the most love to the least amount of love. Just be smart about it, guys. It's the best way to budget. I just recommend that every step that you take, write it in as if it was a statistic. It's the best way to do it, because in the end of the day, if you guys love collecting and you realize that you guys are in a imbalancement with your finances, work on it. You know what I mean? I really hope you guys did see some benefits from this video. I hope I gave you guys the best advice that I can. I do want to point out a couple more videos that I want to do, but it's truly up to you. Buying hot toys, is it worth it? That's one video I wanted to do. When is the best times to toy hunt? Why buying online is better. You know, I kind of pointed that out. Some of my goals for 2019. If you guys want to see some of those videos, make sure to drop a like down below. If you get this to about 100 likes, then I will go ahead and do so. I just want to make sure that I get enough thumbs up because I want to see if you guys actually like these type of videos. I really hope this video did help you guys, and if it does, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you guys are new. Thank you again for coming back and watching another video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this style of video because a couple of you guys are loving kind of like the complexity of all the different types of videos. See you guys in the next video. Zale Nation, Zale Gang. This is your boy Jimpy Zale. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Catch you later. Get your figs up, budgets down. Peace.